Normally, when we face difficulties, when we face adversities, many of us crumble down. We break down under the force of, under the weight of adversity. But remember, adversity is the source of opportunity. They say that prosperity reveals your character. More than that, adversity reveals your character. So your true character, your true personality will be revealed when you face the adversity. When we face adversity, we become disappointed, distressed, or depressed. We start blaming the system. We start blaming God. We start blaming the Almighty. We start blaming the surrounding. So we don't handle adversity properly. But we should remember, adversity is actually the source of opportunity. Adversity is actually the opportunity in disguise to form. So this we have seen from different walks of life. The successful people from different walks of life, from literature, from politics, from history, from entrepreneurship, from science, from technology, all of them reveal this fact that adversity is the main driver of achievement. I read a particular poet around 25 years back in my college. His name was William Henley. He was a Victorian poet. He lived in the 19th century. He wrote a poem in 1875 that is an important poem. And more than the poem, the poet is also important, William Henley. His life is an example that you can reach great heights in life provided you tackle adversity in a positive way. William Henley, when he was around 15 years of age, he was afflicted with tuberculosis. So when he went to the hospital, the doctors suggested the amputation of left leg. So the left leg was amputated. So the doctor said, you take care of yourself, hereafter you will not have any problem. And you pray to God also, they said. Henley, young boy, young man, he was really depressed because he has become one-legged. His left leg has been amputated. And after some time, pain started developing in the right leg also. He went to the hospital. The doctors this time said the situation has become very worse, so his right leg is also to be amputated. So young William Henley was in deep depression. At the age of around 17, he is losing both the legs. His entire life was in total disarray. He was in depression. At that time, while sitting in the hospital, he wrote a poem. Later on, he published the poem. That poem was published as part of a book of verses. Later on, he wrote many poems, but that particular poem, the name of the poem is Invictus. Invictus means the one that cannot be conquered, the one that cannot be vanquished. It is the most important poem written in English in the last 175 years. Invictus, the poem. The poem says, out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable spirit. I am the master of my fate and captain of my soul. He wrote that poem. He pasted that poem in the walls of his room in the hospital. Every day he started looking at the poem. He started getting inspiration. He started getting courage in the face of adversity. And because of that, he shaped his mind, molded his mind. He appealed to his mind. He read the poem daily. Ultimately, the progress of the disease was halted. The right leg, which was about to be amputated, was saved. So, through the power of the poem, through the power of the words, through the power of the positive mind, William Henley saved his right leg. That poem continues to inspire millions of people in the last 150-70 years. That poem continues to inspire many statesmen and leaders of humanity in the last 1 century. For example, Nelson Mandela, the Mahatma of South Africa. He was imprisoned for nearly 26 long years. He was initially put in solitary confinement. He was imprisoned, incarcerated for nearly 26 long years. And later on, he was released as part of the settlement system that ended apartheid, that introduced democracy in South Africa. And people asked him what kept him in proper spirits while he was imprisoned for such a long period in life. The Mahatma of South Africa, Nelson Mandela, said, "Every day I used to read that poem. Every day I used to read the poem to myself. I used to read the poem to other prisoners. That poem gave me a lot of inspiration that nourished me when I was down in spirits." So that poem is the greatest inspirational poem for Mahatma of South Africa, Nelson Mandela. Similarly, during the Second World War, the warplanes of Germany, they are bombarding the city of London in England. Many people thought that England very soon will surrender to the onslaught, to the might of the German forces. But at the time, the Prime Minister of England, one of the greatest statesmen of English history, Winston Churchill, he refused to surrender. He inspired millions of people in his homeland to fight against the onslaught of Germany. He quoted this poem, the last two lines of the poem, this Invictus poem, to inspire the people of England to fight a losing battle, to convert the losing battle in a winning battle against Germany. Similarly, many people talk about this poem whenever they face this difficulty or adversity. So dear students, dear youngsters, when you are writing the exam, when you are appearing in the competitive examinations, you are bound to face failures. When you face failures, remember the words of the poem of William Henley, the Invictus. "Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. I am the master of my fate and captain of my soul."